So coming from Reuters, exclusive U.S. military personnel are being targeted using location data, Pentagon letter shows. That's right, our military forces are literally being targeted using the ad tech technology that has ripped away privacy rights for Americans for the past decade or so. This story right here explains to you why I'm so angry and so pissed off about American policy towards companies like TikTok and how the abject racism in those policies overshadows the real problems that we have with this kind of tracking technology, right? So when TikTok what happened, right? You know, under the Trump administration, the last year of the Trump administration, Trump put through an executive order to ban TikTok from the United States because oh no, the Chinese government might get access to data about the American people, and this was really important to him until he forgot about it. And then Biden came into office and went, ooh, beating up Chinese people looks pretty fun. And so he got together with Congress and they actually passed a law to ban TikTok in the United States. Weirdly enough, passing that law, that didn't actually come into action until basically when Trump was reelected again. But then Trump, gets back into office and he rails against TikTok because the number one national security concern in the United States is TikTok. And what we're told, but the Chinese Communist Party controls TikTok, right? If you don't think TikTok should be banned from the United States, you're a traitor to America, right? Anyways, this crap goes on and on and on, and now we have this whole issue where it's like the American part of TikTok has been cleaved off to be an American company, and there's all this stuff going on, right? But one of the arguments that I made during that period of time is when we heard about the privacy concerns that were manifestly obvious with a company owned in China, having access to our data. One of the reasons that I got frustrated is that there were no laws in place. There was no new policy decisions on how to protect Americans from, Facebook, Mark Zuckerberg, or Google, or any of the companies that are actually violating our privacy rights day in and day out, selling that information for nefarious purposes, all just so they could get a little bit more blood money. Right? That's one of the reasons I was frustrated. Literally, at the time period that TikTok was supposed to be getting banned from the United States, I think the MIT Review, they came out with a report where they found that they could buy the personal information about U.S. service people and their families for 15 cents per record. Not only that, they would contact the data brokers with .Asia email addresses just to see how far they could push it. And here's the thing, they could push it really, really, really far. And so we're in this weird world right now where TikTok is bad because China man might get access to your data, but Mark Zuckerberg is fine, and Alphabet's fine, all these other companies are fine. And what they're finding out at this point in time is that it's not okay. It's not good. Basically having all of this information that is out there, that is accessible on the open market is, wait for it, a national security concern. It is true. So if we take a look at this, it is a hell of a thing. U.S. forces deployed to war zones have been targeted using commercially available location data, according to reports fielded by military officials, an illustration of how the global surveillance economy is shaping the battlefield. In a letter shared with Reuters by U.S. Senator Ron Wyden, an Oregon Democrat, U.S. Central Command said it had, quote, received multiple threat reports concerning adversary exploitation of commercial location data to target or surveil U.S. personnel in in theater. And so think about this too. In theater, this isn't like at Fort Bragg or at Fort Meade or at, wherever. This isn't in the United States. This is actually over in the Middle East right now. The message sent on April 14th offered no further specifics, but CENTCOM's area of responsibility includes the Gulf, where U.S. forces are facing off against the Iranian military over the Strait of Hormuz. So the important thing to understand now, in America, in a capitalist society, the Chinese Communist Party getting access to our personal information for free, that is a bridge too far. Iran paying for our personal information, well, that's just good standard capitalism. And this is one of the big problems that we're running into, and one of the reasons that I'm so frustrated our government really isn't trying to do anything practical about this problem. The disclosure was the first official confirmation that U.S. forces had been targeted in an active war zone, Wyden and a bipartisan group of legislators said in a letter on Thursday to the Pentagon. Quote, commercial location data can be used to identify where U.S. troops congregate and their pattern of life, which can be exploited by adversaries to target attacks such as missiles, drones, and roadside bombs, as well as for counterintelligence purposes. The letter warned. Wyden said in a statement that it was time to, quote, start treating the ad tech industry as a national security threat. It doesn't matter the color of their skin, all of them are evil bastards. Let's see. As far back as 2016, one U.S. defense contractor was able to leverage commercially available location data to track special operations forces from their bases in the United States to a sensitive staging post in Syria, according to an account disclosed by the Wall Street Journal. More recently, journalists at Wired and two German news outlets drew on billions of coordinates collected by a data broker to expose the granular comings and goings of people stationed at or around 11 U.S. military and intelligence sites in Germany. The letter from U.S. lawmakers to the Pentagon said that given what military officials know about the trade in location data, they should have acted faster to protect their personnel, for example, by disabling the unique advertising ID attached to military-issued devices, automatically turning off location sharing on smartphones in the field. I don't know, there is something weird about that, smartphones in the field. And steering staff away from Google's Chrome web browser towards more privacy-focused alternatives. One of the letter's co-signers was U.S. Representative Pat Harrigan, a North Carolina Republican who is formerly a U.S. Special Forces officer. Harrigan said that browsers like Chrome, quote, are built from the ground up to collect and share user data, and that every day they remain on government-issued devices, quote, is another day we are handing our adversaries a weapon against our own troops. So not only can this technology, can these devices be used to track and to destroy the privacy of American citizens, but apparently the exact same technology, surprise, 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 can be used against our military forces. It is a hell of a thing. It is kind of funny to think about how, I don't know, security or posture or whatever has changed over the past few decades. So when I was in the Army in the mid-90s. Do you know what technology I had as a soldier, as an enlisted soldier in the mid-90s? I had my calling card. Remember the Sprint calling cards? Like you would go to the PX, you put your little $10 down, you go to a payphone. So you go to the payphone, you have to type in this number, and then you type in the code, and then they type in the number that you're actually calling, and then you had so many minutes. They charged you like 50 cents a minute or whatever to be able to call anywhere. The thing about Sprint calling cards is there's not a lot of security vulnerability with that, right? It's literally just a piece of paper with some numbers on it. Very hard to hack, doesn't give away your location data or any of that type of thing. What becomes interesting now in the modern world, though, is think about all these soldiers running around with basically the exact same smartphones that you have in your pocket, and all of that information is being collected and thrown up to these big tech companies so they can sell all of that information. Because the one thing you have to remember about big tech companies is they don't give a crap about our civilization. They do not give a damn about the United States. They don't give a damn about human rights. They don't give a damn about our soldiers, just so long as they can get a little bit more blood money, right? They don't care how many soldiers of our soldiers will die in the field, as long as they can get their little CPM values up or whatever else. That is the main thing. And so it does become like an interesting question of how all of this is going to work, for the military going into the future. It is a very, very concerning thing. They showed that with, was it Strava? Strava. I don't use Strava. So Strava is kind of like this workout app, so you can put it on your watch or on your phone, and it tracks your workouts. They actually showed where soldiers, because soldiers, I mean, you have to exercise. Basically, you're a professional athlete when you're a soldier. Anyways, they were showing where soldiers were using Strava to track their running routes. And then, that information became public. And it was like, oh, look, a complete map of all these different military posts from all over the world. You don't think about that from a security context a lot of the time. So anyways, I would say it would be curious to see where this goes, but we know it's not going to go anywhere, right? Apple is a multi-trillion-dollar company. Microsoft is a multi-trillion-dollar company. All of these companies are worth a hell of a lot of money. And in modern American society, stock price literally trumps everything else. Right? So we know that there are not going to be put any laws or anything into place in order to try to prevent this type of thing. But it is kind of curious just to see how, it's biting us in the butt, from a military context too. Anyways, and I mean, I just think about this, we talk about like with modern warfare and modern conflicts. And basically, to think about the other side are people too. Right, the other side are human beings too. And so you think about like in the Middle East, right? You got Iran. We've been bombing the crap out of Iran. Gaza's been leveled. Israel's bombing the hell out of Lebanon right now. Right? There's all this stuff going on. And one of the things you have to think about, right, is there's a 14 or 15-year-old Middle Easterner right now, and that 14 or 15-year-old, if they were in the United States, they might become the next. Andrew Schwartz, right? Came up with the RSS protocol, helped create Reddit, all of that kind of thing. But they're in countries that are getting absolutely flattened by the Western world, so they don't get access. They don't get the ability to create a new startup company. And one of the things I keep bringing up is, what if these very smart, right, very dedicated, very motivated, intelligent young people start thinking about things such as, Uber Eats for grenade. And again, think about in the modern world how with young people, they could think about things like doing targeting or whatever different. Like, you don't use GPS coordinates. You use other things in order to try to attack the people that are trying to kill you. It has become like it becomes a very interesting concept of like where will war go in the future. I think about Ender's Game. If you have never read Ender's Game, I'm not going to ruin it for you. Don't watch the movie. The movie was complete on it. One, the movie is a spoiler for the book, and it's garbage. Surprise, surprise, modern Hollywood. But one of the concepts with Ender's Game is that the adults have been fighting the war, right? So there was this war with this alien power that had been going on for a long time. And basically, the adults couldn't, like, they've been fighting using strategies or whatever, and they couldn't figure out a way to win the war. And so one of the ideas was to bring kids in that don't have any concept of how war should be fought, and basically see if they can come up with better ideas on how to kill the enemy. It is kind of it seemed like an interesting thing, like with this modern world, like where you have DJI drones and you have Strava and you have ad tech and you have all this. Like, how would a 15-year-old in 2026 go about trying to fight a war? And are we prepared for it? It's funny, again. Let's see. What does a 16-year-old know? But again, things might start going wonky. Anyways, what do you think about this? What do you think about the location information for our soldiers, American soldiers at least, in the field, literally being sold on the open market? What do you think about in this modern world that Trump really cared about TikTok but doesn't seem to give half a crap about the Iranians being able to purchase this information to try to actually kill soldiers in the field. I don't know. Put your thoughts down below. If you like these episodes and you want them on Spotify or on Apple Podcasts, there's a link in the doobly-doo. If you want to follow me on LinkedIn, there's a link down there too. With that, see y'all later.